So the other day, I made this fun junk journal cover. And then here's the inside of it. Pretty fun. So I got the idea from making this. So I made this for Patty Kitty, and it's for the back of the couch where she likes to lay at the top. And I did it with denim on the front here, and then flannel on the spots in the back. Okay, so I did some hand stitching and some fun just interest squares. If you guys want to see a full tutorial of how I made this, I'll make sure to put it on the end screen for you guys and you can go check it out. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I had tons of denim and flannel, just leftover scraps. So what I did, that's when this came into play. And I made this cute little thing. So what it is I grabbed some of the denim, some of the flannel, I don't know if I put flannel in this, but we'll put some flannel in it. I did some coffee dyed fabrics in here. Plus I want to show you guys, I tie-dyed some t-shirts. I just did it with coffee, and I did some writ dyed t-shirts and stuff, and did all that, got them all ready. I'll just put a picture up here so you guys can see what they look like. I got them all hanging outside on my fence outside. And I want to show you guys what you can use to stiffen them up with t-shirts and how to sew and incorporate into your junk journals with just t-shirts. If you guys have just some extra t-shirts hanging around, I mean, those are my husband's work shirts and stuff that he doesn't use anymore because they got old and stains on them and stuff. So it's perfect to just throw some coffee dye on it or some writ dye and do some tie dyeing and make some cool patterns. So I got all that done, and I'll pop that picture up so you guys can see what they look like, but we can incorporate that in today. Plus I have some tons of little scraps here. So just some hand stitching stuff with some coffee dyed, some buttons included, just some fun things like that. Got some more denim, some suede, which I think is in here because I put some suede on this, which I thought was really cool. So just some suede, just from a vest that I got like at a secondhand store. So anything like that, go into a secondhand store, Goodwill or Salvation Army or anything like that, and grabbing some jeans and some just cool fabrics that you look at. Just look at the clothing as like fabrics, and it works out so great. So I got all that. So I just got like a little bin here of just leftovers that I didn't use in the quilt, and then added some extra goodies in here. So I am going to bring you guys down close, and this is not that hard of a tutorial. I will do it step by step for you guys of just with my sewing machine, but you can hand stitch or you can glue. You could glue everything I'm doing also. So I am Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and welcome. So let's get started. So I got my little scrap bin here, and this is just so much fun just to grab it out. This is just a great way to use up your scraps. Doesn't have to be denim, doesn't have to be anything that I have, just any kind of scraps that you have, any old clothing you want to cut up, anything like that. You could just start sewing like this, and this is called crumb quilting, and it is really fun. And it's just, you can make it as grungy as you want, and you can make it as pretty as you want, and whatever you want to use, just any kind of fabrics. So I'm going to grab out this to start. So this is just a good base. Make sure you guys can see. And the cool thing is that you want angles. I'll show you. So let's start with that one. I got one that I sewed together here. So it's a great way to use up some slow stitch stuff that you have, some coffee dyed fabrics, anything like that. So you're going to want to take your right sides to right side, or I like to say good to good, because that's what my mom taught me. I remember that when I learned how to sew when I was little. She always said good to good. So you have your good fabric to your good fabric and put it together. And we're just going to do 2.5 inch stitch. I'm going to put it over to a straight stitch. I have my walking foot on here because I will be using denim, and yeah, it seems to work really good. So walking foot's always fun to use. It just helps pull the fabric through evenly, and it can get over like bulky things. So I'm just lining it up, and you just want to make sure that you have enough fabric to go the width of whatever you're sewing on top here. So you want the top part to be bigger. So always go just a little bigger than you think you need to go. And I'm just doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oh, helps when you turn on your machine. And then just sew it down. Okay. You open it up, and there you go. Then you have this part, and you can either iron it or finger press it, but I would not iron on this. This is kind of like a plastic. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's like a pleather, I guess. It's like a plastic, like fake leather. So I wouldn't iron on top of that. I would turn it and just maybe iron on this side. So I'm not sure what kind of fabric that is. Okay, so I did that one. And then you're going to want to grab something else. I just got a piece of jean here. And same difference. Now, if you want, we want a straight line. So we can grab our ruler. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's kind of nice just to have a guideline here. So I'm just going to take it and straighten this out. Like that. Then I have a straight edge to go with. I'm just going to line it up. And then I just make sure that the piece I'm using is long enough to cover this back piece. Okay. Just line it up. You can pin it if you want. Definitely an option. And I'm just sewing it. And this comes together pretty fast. It up, you can see what's happening here. Okay. And then you can just look, see where you want to add your, you can finger press it, and then look and see where you want to add your next one. You can see it's uneven here, but you can see the straight line is the low point. So always go for the lower point. And it's nice to cut it. Then you can get the bulk. You don't have to cut it. You can just make sure when you line up your next piece, say we use this one, you have to line it up low enough. Like, don't go way up here, because then when you flip it, you'll have like a hole. You know, if you attach it to here and there, you'll have a hole. But unless that's what you're going for, because sometimes on here, I actually did do that. See, there's a hole. So what I did is stuck some threads there. Put threads throughout and just stuck them in the hole. But there is a hole. So I was kind of going for that look because I thought it would look great on the front. Just some fun texture and stuff. Okay. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's up to you, however you want to do that part. But if you want it not to have a hole, just make sure to line it up as at the lowest point right here. Okay. So the easiest way to do that is just to find the lowest point and then just give it a trim. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Give it a sew. Okay. It's coming along nicely. Now, I'll show you another way you could do this is you do not have to make it all pretty seams and stuff like I was showing you. You can just take, you know, like say I'm going to take this piece. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I want to just take this piece of a pair of jeans and I want to just sew it right here, right on top. I just want to take it and I want to sew it right on top. You can totally do that. So just line it up. And this is one reason I have my walking foot on here, because this is a little thicker and it'll pull all the fabric through evenly. Pop this up real quick. Okay. Now I can put it over onto a zigzag stitch. And make sure my foot's down and just sew it all the way down. There we go. See, you can just sew it right on top. And do the same thing throughout. Just look through your stuff, see what you have. And I love the flannel. You can take some flannel, do some brown, and just go right across if you want. You could take it and we could twist it. And you could give it a twist. And I'm going to move it over so I don't want to hide that seam because I like the seam. Okay. And just set your foot down and just twist it as you go. This is just a fun little interest that you can do. I think that looks really good. Let's see. What else did I do? Well, like here, how I did the hole, and then we have the back. So there's not a hole all the way through. You can see just the back part of the journal. Okay. So I'm just going to take this part. I think I'm just going to attach it. I'm going to do good to good here. And then I'm only going to do it that far. So that is how you do chrome quilting. See, and I missed some right there, which is fine. Leave a hole. If you want, you can totally have a hole there. And let's see. I mean, we can add some fun stuff on top. Do some fun fabric with words on it. Maybe put that right here. And depending on whatever stitch you want to use, you can use decorative stitches. You can do anything like that. I'm just going to stitch it around. That's just the fun freedom of this, is that you can just grab whatever you like, whatever fabrics that you like, you know, that you've dyed, or, you know, just pretty fabrics that you have hanging around that you want to use, and just start sticking them down. Now I'm going to show you how I put the threads through here. So I got my little owl, and you can even add laces, a lace in it. I mean, anything you want. I'm just going to grab some of this, some threads. Okay. And then depending how you want them to stick out, I'm just going to stick them in like this. And then if you want, you can either leave the hole open or you can go like this and then just sew. That. I like doing a zigzag because it catches all of it. Okay. So far I've just switched back and forth from a zigzag to a straight stitch. So super simple stitches, nothing too fancy. And then just sew this down. Just be careful when you're doing threads. Sometimes they get caught around your foot of your machine and it'll get it stuck. So you just have to make sure to either snip it or lift the foot up and move them because they can get stuck. Okay, so I just make sure my needle's down, and then you can go through your threads. It's kind of nice to have just a little something to put like that because you don't want to put your fingers there. So like just like a little tool. Like that. And then you can backstitch if you want. So just try to catch some of those threads. Ah. So I'm just going to continue all the way around, and you can put, you know, some fun fabrics like that just hanging off of it. Add some pretty fabrics throughout. I might even add a little focal point sewn on there with the little bird. This was a fun video that we did. I'll make sure to put that on the end screen. It is how to color on fabric. So I'll put that on the end screen and you guys come check it out. Really fun video. Super easy. So I'm going to continue this, a bigger form here, and then I will show you guys what I do next. So I got my coffee dyed t-shirt here. And what I want to do is use, this is webbing. It's like an interface. It helps with like stretchy fabrics. If you iron this on the back, it's just adhesive on one side, and it will hold a temporary hold for you while you get it sewn into like a quilt or anything like that to stabilize the fabric so it won't sit there and stretch in different directions and make it all wonky. Okay, so I'll show you guys. Okay, so I went ahead and cut just a piece of the t-shirt out. Make sure you got the front part. So on the back part of whatever you want to iron the interfacing on, the back part of it. And then there is a bumpy side, which has the glue on it, and then there's a smoother side, which needs to go up. So the bumpy side goes on the back of whatever fabric that you want to use. So I'm just going to stick this on here. Iron it down. You don't need steam or anything. That it sticks pretty good to the t-shirt. And so this isn't like a permanent solution because after you wiggle it, if you take it and wiggle it around a bunch and keep messing with it and stuff, it'll eventually come off. But it's a good way to get it how you want it, and then I'll cut out a piece that I want and just sew it and get it sewed to the edges, and then it's good. Then it's stuck and it's not going anywhere. So just make sure that you're sewing it down to whatever you're using. So this is definitely a great way to stabilize because it won't move now. It won't stretch. So there you go. I just wanted to show you that, and then I'm going to cut some of this up and use it in our little journal cover. I think I got it cut out to the size that I want, and what I'm using here is a 5.5 inch square. Okay, so I'm going to just see if I have enough. So this could be the back cover or the front, and then you flip it. I think I have enough here. So what I'm cutting on is it's called the Quilted Bear, and it's a 12 inch ruler or cutting mat that spins around. So it just makes my life so much easier. What I do is, some of this stuff might be too thick to cut with my rotary, so I'll have to use my fabric scissors. But let's see. So I'm just gonna line it up. And then I keep these scraps because I can reuse them. So there we go. I mean, isn't that fun, you guys? So that could be the front cover or the back cover, or however you want to do it. So there's one. And then we're going to do the other one. I have these cut how I want them. So you can see, I mean, how cute. So much fun. So much fun. Just gives it so much character. So I got them 5.5-inch squares each. What we could do is just we can add our own spine in here. But before we do that, this is going to be the cover. I decided this will be the cover. And I'm going to go ahead and do some decorating here. So I wanted to incorporate one of these little coloring. Little birds here. I can either cut out a little bird like that, or I think I might do this. I'll do it underneath like a little nest. And too much stuff, so just kind of place it where you want it. And then I'm going to go over here and do a zigzag around everything. So you can leave, just depending on how much you're going to put in your journal. So I'm going to do like a 1-inch spine. I'll overlap it. And then I'm just going to either do a zigzag or a straight stitch. I'll probably do a zigzag, catch all the edges here, and get that sewn on with just a 1-inch spine like that. And then you can see the front here, that it's just going to overlap. Just make sure that's where you want it overlapped. You can cut this back if you want a little bit, or do some fraying on it, and that's what I'm going to do. I wanted to show you guys really quick here. If you do not have a sewing machine or do not feel comfortable sewing, you can glue. So I would just take Fabrifix glue or anything like that, or Fabri-Tac, and start with a foundation piece here, which this is just the t-shirt that I added some webbing, the interfacing on, but you could do whatever fabric that you want for the backing. So this is the back. Nobody will see this part, so this will just be the backing that you're going to add your pieces to. So you could take it, glue this piece down, and then, you could take it and rip if you want, and put some glue on here, and you could overlap, glue that piece down, come over, grab another piece, and just so on and so forth. And then you could take it and glue this piece down. I mean, you could glue this one underneath. Just think about how you want to do it. Take another piece, and then just glue that piece down, and then you just keep going, and found some fun hand stitching that you've done, and take it and you can glue this down. This could be your centerpiece, and just keep gluing it down and doing the same concept as stacking it up. Now with slow stitching, if you want to just hand stitch it on, you can do the same thing. Just start with a base piece here, and I would just do like a running stitch and stitch it down, and then grab your next piece and then do some stitching and stitch it down, and same difference, just however you want. I mean, you can make this piece as long as this piece, or you can just cut this piece off with your scissors, kind of just look, or just stack on top of it. That's all I would do. Just kind of stack it on top. I mean, however you want to do it, and you can add this piece here over the top, just hand stitch it down, and just so on and so forth. And then just keep going and piece it all on. And then this can be your foundation piece. And then once it's all done, you could just cut it out, take your ruler, and then just size it up, cut it out, and there you go. There's your front or your back cover. So that's another way to do it. I just wanted to show you guys other options on how to do this. Okay, so now we will continue adding to our fun little journal here that we've made. So this is the time if you want to add any more embellishments to your cover or your back cover before we put our backing on. Okay. So what I want to do is I have some just thought tokens from Tim Holtz. It's the ideology. So it's just all these cute little guys here. Let's see, which one do we want? See the world, my heart, be true to you. Okay, you know what? That's fitting. Let's do that one. And I'm just taking a piece of twine. Do this. Get our twine, get it through. You don't need much here. Let's do this. Find out where I want to hang it. Like that. There. I think I'm just gonna crisscross it like that, and then just sew through it real quick. I'll show you guys. And there we go. So you can see right here, I just did a zigzag back and forth just to get catch the twine there, and then that's not going anywhere. So there we go. That's a fun little thing we can add to the cover. Okay. I really like that. And then I also have some keys. I got some keys that my mother-in-law got them for me off of Temu. So they're just little metal keys. They're really cute, but I don't know. Let's see. Let me play around with it real quick here. See what I want to do. You even take your twine a little bit thinner. Is that you can just let your imagination go wild, because there is no right or wrong. You're just kind of getting stuff that you enjoy working with and love putting down and looking at it, and just put it all together. Just make it into yours. So I like the be true to you, because I think that's perfect. You don't have to be like somebody else. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You can just be you. I mean, I think that's a great little quote there. So I just went ahead and just sewed that there, the little zigzag, and I really like the metal aspect on it. So we did that. Now, I think this would be really cool. I made these a long time ago. I might be able to scrounge up the video, but I know it's in there somewhere with all my videos I have. I'll try to put it on the end screen, but this was a while ago. I'll have to really dig deep. But pretty much what I did is I took some coffee dyed cotton fabric, stamped on it, did some paint on it, and then cut them into strips, did some sewing on some, added some beads to some Rit dyed fabrics that I have, and then did a little bulb pin and added a little trinket with some coffee dyed rope, like macrame rope. So that's pretty much what this is. Okay. Now here's my spine, and what I want to do, I can either take my bulb pin and pin it, but since we're in a sewing mood here, I'm going to Just do a zigzag stitch and stitch it on there. I don't know if I want to do this yet because I'm going to have to put my backing. Let's put this on after we do our inside cover here. Okay. So let's do our inside cover and then we'll just stitch this on and a little stitching will show. It won't be that big a deal. Okay. So let's put that to the side and remember that. Try to remind me to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go grab some of my tie-dyed fabrics that I've made, and I want that for the inside. So I'll be right back. So anytime that I'm tie-dyeing, like my rainbow gift bags that I have in my Etsy shop and stuff, or my banner flags that I make for my Etsy shop, I always make sure to throw some just cotton fabric or something underneath because I will use this in my junk journaling, and it's perfect to use. So I just kind of rubber band it up. I just wanted to see. I might have to piece this one together. So this is what it looks like. I think that turned out really cool. This is my first time seeing it too with you guys. So that turned out really fun. I want to make this the inside cover, and I'm going to go iron it first. And it's going to be plenty of big. We'll just sew it together. So that'll be the inside. I'm going to go iron it, and I will be right back. So I went ahead and got it all ironed. So this is the good side, and I'm going to put them facing each other and put my machine over on a straight stitch. And then I'm just going to sew this, just a 1/4 inch seam allowance, roughly. And then I'm just going to stitch it all the way down here. Did that. I just sewed it together, just like that. Now I'm going to take it over to my iron and open up the seam and just iron it down flat like that. So I went ahead and just pressed the seam open. And this is going to be the inside where nobody sees it. I'm going to put this like this. And I want the seam going through the middle. And I will use all this extra fabric. Trust me. It'll be sewn into something fun. I'm really enjoying doing these crumb quilt style here because it gets rid of all your scraps and you can just, I don't know, it's just so much creativity that you can just add some metal elements to it. You can add your hand stitching to it. You know, you can add your artwork to it. And you can use up your threads and just all your little scraps and pieces that you wouldn't think of ever using, you know, in a sewing project. Okay. Just line this up. I'm going to go ahead and just cut around it. And trimmed it. That's what's going to look on this side. Now, this is a good chance to do some pinning or some, you know, little clips. These little clips work great. Little wonder clips. Make sure to have it, over on your zigzag. You can do your stitch length. Mine's on like 2.5, 2.5 stitch length and 4 width. So, and then I'm just going to start here. Also, I want to tell you guys, this is a good time to add a closure if you want, like, say, a, you know, whatever closure. Here, let's do this for example. So say you want this as a closure, which would be kind of cool. This is the seam of the jeans, but if you want this as a closure, you could just add this in here. Now would be a good time. And just pinch it in between the cover and the backing, just like that. Okay, and then just clip it, and then you could just sew right along there, and then you can have a closure just in between. Okay, or you could glue it in there, however you want it, or hand stitch it, however you want to do it. But I'm not doing that, so, but I just wanted to show you guys. Just go slower over the thicker parts. And make sure, I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but if you're working with jean, just make sure that you have a denim needle. So this is a denim needle 16, and that's what it looks like. And this is for my Janome machine. But there's any, you can get just the standard denim needles. And just go slow over the big parts like that. Okay? You do not want to break a needle. I've definitely done that one. Okay. So there we go. I will put you guys up overhead and you can come check it out. But I think it turned out really cool. And let's go ahead and add our dangle on it. Let's cut all that off. Oop. There's our cover. Put this together. See, like the tie-dye showing up through the top? I kind of like that. I think it looks cool. That's what I'm saying. There's just no wrong. There really is not. You just use your creativity and what you feel like, and it's great improv quilting, and it gets rid of scraps. It looks really cool. I love the look of it. And then there's the inside of it. And yeah, I think it turned out really fun. Now, if you wanted pockets or anything on the inside, you would add them to your inside cover before you stitched it down. Okay, so you'd have the outside. Say this is the inside cover, and before I even stitched it into my book at all or my journal, I would just make pockets and stitch them in, and then stitch the whole thing down. Okay, so if you wanted stuff like that, that is definitely an option. I think that would be really fun. So there we go. I'm going to add our dangle. I really am enjoying that. I think that's fun. And then a little artwork. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do is just take the top part here. Now you could take your bulb pin and just pin it on there. I think I'm going to pop it up like that and just do a little stitch going across. Just across the top here. Don't want nothing falling off. Okay. So there we go. Now we got our fun little dangle on here. And then you can also add your dangle after you put your signatures in here. So I just wanted to show you guys how to do this fun little cover. And I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informational. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.